Hi, Brian Comer here, Technical Theater Director, Lee High School. Today I wanted to look at a technique for making glass for stage and movies. Any thriller or any action movie you see, someone will get thrown out of a window or they'll have something broken over their head. And I wanted to look at a technique for making glass. That way you can do it at home with just a few simple recipe items, and then maybe even have somebody bash something over my head. So yeah, let's do that. Disclaimer time. All right, so we're using sugar, corn syrup, and water. If you have any reactions or allergic reactions to any of those things, maybe this is not the project you should be doing. Also, we're heating this up to about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, so it gets extremely hot. So please take all precautions that you can. Gloves, pads, things like that. And when it comes to bashing someone over the head with fake glass, you're still bashing someone over the head. And there's also particles and things from the glass, so please use all precautions you can when you're doing that. Thank you. Got a stirring device, and I've got our candy thermometer. It actually has hard crack right beside 300, which is what we're going for. So once we get to 300, that's our magic number to start pouring our glass. So add our sugar. Now I did not come up with this this formula. I am not that smart. I actually found this on the interwebs. Pour in our Karo syrup. I want to get all of it in there, so the spoon helps for that. Okay, Karo syrup. Or any light corn syrup will do. Okay. And water. So that was 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of water, and 2/3 cup of corn syrup. Now we're going to put on a kind of a low heat. Get everything stirred up and mixed together, and all the sugar dissolved. All right. So we got this heating up. I don't know if you could tell, but it's kind of in layers right now. So I've got all the sugar at the bottom and the corn syrup and water at the top. So what we're trying to do is stir that up over the low heat until it all becomes one layer, one solution. Now, once it starts to boil, you don't really have to stir it. The boiling will keep it from scalding. And that's when I put the thermometer in and start checking. So that's where we are at this point. We have turned up the heat. I've got it on a medium-high heat. So we're waiting for it to start boiling. Very exciting. And one thing, make sure everything you're using is very clean. This will make a glass that's a little yellowy orange because this sugar is going to start caramelizing before it gets to the hard crack candy stage. So this is predominantly a glass you could use if you needed to add color. You could go ahead and add color to it at this point. You might want to wait until it starts to orange up a little bit so you can get the color a little better. I have never added color to sugar glass, so I'm not really sure what the magic is there. But do know that this is not going to be a crystal clear, colorless glass. That is another class entirely. All right, we have hit boiling. I went ahead and put the candy thermometer in there. So it turns out 212 degrees is the boiling point. How about that, science? So I want to stop stirring. This is actually very delicious little concoction. lots of sugar. And now we kind of wait. Now, I will warn you, it will take it a while. You'll start watching the thermometer, and it'll take it a while to get to 220. And then it'll take off. So you don't want to leave it too long, but it's going to take about 10 minutes or so. Alright, so as you see, thermometer is about at 220. There we go, there's a good shot. And we're going to just kind of know it's anyway. And so we're just going to watch it again, a few more minutes. I positioned the pan relatively close. Also put something under it because don't need anything cracking. It shouldn't, but you know, if you're doing this on a countertop or something, you might want to protect it because, again, this is going to get up to 300 degrees. So we are still hovering around 220. It's been about 5 minutes. So, yeah. All right, we're getting really close. We are at about 285. I want to take this time to remind you that this is really hot. I don't know if you've ever had a candy burn or a hot boil burn, but they are painful. And since this is sugar, it's a little sticky. So if you get this on you while it's hot, not only is it hot, but it wants to adhere to you. So please, please, please be careful with this. And we are also at 295. So I'm not going to stop filming right now. We're about to pour this sucker. There's a couple more minutes. And we can see that the color is now yellowy orange. And we've gotten almost the color of whiskey bottles right here. And we just hit 300. So, I'll take off this. I'll lay that down. Turn off the heat. And pour this into the container. Now it's still bubbling. It's still pretty hot. Alright, so we get it all nice and spread out. You can see that it's still bubbling. Those bubbles will kind of rise to the top slowly. And what we're going to do now is everything's poured. We're going to let this sucker cool, just sitting here on the countertop, and then we'll be back. I'll move this off of the stovetop and try to get it a little more even. I mean, as you know, it's in liquid form now. So if it's uneven, it's going to cool that way, and then you're going to have thickness on one side and not the other. Also, the bottom of this pan is a little curved up, so it's a little concave. That's fine for what we're doing here today, but you can really see the yellowy orange amberish color that the caramelized glass took. Now, the thicker the glass, in this case, the more orange it's going to be, or at least perceived. So this is what we got going on now. We're letting it cool. I used gloves to move it. It was extremely hot. So I'm still being as safe as I can be, trying to keep the kids and the dogs away from it while it dries. You can always already see it's got a nice shine to it. You can see my reflection. You can see the lights above me. So I'm real pleased, and a lot of the bubbles have already come out. And on stage, when the closest person is 30 feet away, they will never, ever, ever notice any imperfections on the surface or within the glass. All right, so we are cooled down to about 45 minutes, and it is still warm to the touch, but it's not hot. Now remember, this is sugar, so it is a little sticky. If it's humid in the room, it can soak that up and be even more sticky. I've read some tips that say at this point you get it out and you can wrap it in saran wrap to keep the humidity away from it. So what I do is I just kind of flex, and you can see it releasing from the tin. I like to do this when it's a little warm, just so it has a little mobility in it. That's not the right word. Flexibility in it. There we go. All right, so now I'm gonna flip this over and see if it'll come out. All right, so here we go. We got this. Flex it a little bit. Flex a little bit this way. I'll put this underneath. And da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ooh, look. We've made some glass. How about that? Pretty awesome. Still a little sticky. Now remember, when you're using this, like I said, it's sugar. It's going to melt if it gets hot. It's going to get sticky if it gets a little wet. So, you know, we didn't just make real glass, we made sugar glass. So all those properties have to be taken into account. All right, so good job, y'all. Way to go. All right, congratulations. We've made some sugar glass. Very excited about that. I think we're done. Oh wait, I did say something about people bashing things over my head. So let's get the kids involved, shall we? We're outside because this can get kind of messy when it cracks over somebody's head. So I already talked to Vinny, give him the rules, did a safety talk. I'm wearing a hat just in case. I don't want to get any in my hair.
Trust me, that will hold.
So now I'm going to give this over to him, and he's going to smash it over my head.
Smash it up.